Welcome people, and today I am browning ground beef straight out of the freezer. That's right, you heard me, straight out of the freezer. Now unfortunately I was getting some water, so this, well, because this is ground turkey, not ground beef, my apologies. And I think I got the burner up a little too high. Let me turn this down a wee bit. There we go.
Smoke up my house.
Now when you're pull your meat, ground meat straight out of the freezer for browning, it's kind of something you gotta really stick at it. You can't walk away from, you can't not pay attention to it. You have to stay on it 24/7. Now you probably noticed I got my big huge Bowie knife out here. Well, this is more or less for personal amusement, and I needed something to help me manipulate, roll, and poke it, which you're going to see the poking in a sec. Well, if they ever invent a pan that will stay where you want it at, the person will become a billionaire. Because this pan just wants to move around. Now this is poking. What this is doing is checking the inside of it, seeing if it's ready yet. You're going to see some pretty cool stuff in the long run. You know, I'm kind of don't have much to really say at this point because, well, what I'm doing is a surprise. Only if you bothered to read the video title, you'll know what it is. What I'm doing. So I won't even tell you what it is because I don't 100% know what's going to be in it. This is going to be cool. It's kind of interesting how I came up with the idea for this recipe that I don't even know what it's going to be when it's done. Is that, well, what happened was my mom was going to be doing a casserole, then I suddenly had an inspiration. Now the inspiration is, this is going to be a variation of my turkey Alfredo, which unfortunately that video went bye-bye, which I'm going to have to remake for YouTube, which I want to do it even better because I've come up with a few inspirational ideas on how to improve my Alfredo recipe. Okay, it's too cool now. Let's try 7. Maybe 7 will work better. You gotta kind of keep your pan hot when you're browning your meat straight out of the freezer. You can't let it get too cool. I need to get a mixing bowl. I gotta start taking the meat out soon.
Why is it down?
Well, thanks for the notice.
Pan's down on the bed.
Thanks for the second notice. Okay. Now, when you're browning meat straight out of the freezer, it's a layer by layer ordeal. What that means is that you brown it, you remove the brown material, and then you put it in the pan you're going to be doing your mixing in. Until the meat starts to just kind of break apart because the moisture and ice in it is all dissolved and it's just meat. Now I just got a mixing bowl out. That's for removing the browned meat out of the pan. Now the camera person has to try to kind of keep up with me because this is something that I have to work by the meat's clock. I can't really adjust the clock on this at all. This is straight out of the freezer because, well, this is a random dish. You see? Look at that. Alright, it's coming along, the browning is. A heads up, I am putting pressure on the meat when I'm scraping these off. What that's essentially doing is heating the other side of it when I'm scraping that side. And I'm every now and then checking it for thawness. When the meat can be cut into pieces. Just so you all know, patties is easier to spontaneously brown. So if you're the type of person that likes to cook kind of spontaneously, favor buying patties over the meat logs because they're thinner, they're flatter, they're more round, and they'll brown quicker because they're not so thick. The log ones like this, well, you're kind of seeing what's going on here firsthand. Surprise! This is why the Bowie knife came out to play this time. What I'm doing here is I'm segmenting the meat. The reason for this is I want to be able to flip it, manipulate it. One of the key advantages to this knife is it is so big that
Watch out for me.
it can transfer its weight into the cutting edge really efficiently. What I'm doing is I'm essentially breaking the ground meat up to finer particles for quick browning. I want to try that organic pan. When I get that organic pan, I want to YouTube video and I want to try to see if that pan is as good as the commercials claim. So I'm going to do everything in the commercials they did to one pan. So watch out, YouTube. That's going to be an interesting day. I'm going to burn stuff in it and everything. Alright, this is going to get some more additional cooking because this is a casserole I am making. Alright, I'm going to put my knife aside and turn that off.
So sad.
Alright, I'm soaking the pan and let's see how the hot water's going. This makes it easier to handle. And so I got something on the burner.
I cleaned it. Guess I didn't get it. That's not hot.
Alright, it's not hot yet. Not very hot yet. I could probably put my hand in there. So cool. Well, that's not hot yet, so I'm going to watch this and you're going to get to watch. So, this was cutting meat. So that means that's oils you don't want on your knife blade. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rinse the bits of particles off my knife. And then I'm going to squirt. We have a soap dispenser on our sink. It has dish soap in it.
It's good soap.
It's good soap. It gets off the bad stuff. I'm going to lather up my lovely knife. And if you're using something on your knife blade and it sounds appealing to your ear, then you're probably washing your knife blade the way it wants to be washed. Like my knife is sounding good to my ear, so I know I'm doing it right. If you handle enough knives in your life, you'll know the sound you want to hear whenever you're hand cleaning or sharpening your knife, because your ear will develop to that sound. Now, I'm going to towel off my knife blade so it's dry. If you got one of your favorite knives, don't air dry them. Hand wash them and then hand dry them. It'll make them last longer. And then you want a bit of olive oil, because that will help get oils and stuff that causes corrosion on your knife off of your blade. Now, my Bowie knife, I've got it center sharpened. That means it's for both left and right hands because of what it's used for. That's what I use it for, cutting various things and whatnot. Okay. Yeah, all nice and clean now. Now let's turn on the water. That's hot enough for me. Alright, now I get something to stir that stuff with. That's about right. Alright. Well, that's taken the field. Let's play with this. What to do with this? I wonder. Let's see, what do I want to put in there? Oh, I know what I'm going to have to put in there is a scooper. Scooper. Alright, let's put this in there. Manta's Alfredo sauce. Okay, a little bit on the Manta's brand. Well, Manta's does various pasta sauces, mushrooms, traditional. Manta's also makes the pasta noodles. Manta's brand. How ironic is that? So, let's see if you can hear it. I heard it. I know you heard it. So let's put the sauce in there. I wonder who came up with the word sauce in this application. Pretty sure I had an application prior to this one. Okay, little tidbit, YouTube people. Little tidbit. If you use sauce containers and you can never get all the sauces out of them, always rinse them out. This will help prevent your trash from stinking, in case you didn't know. So you put water back in the jar, seal the top, give it a very vigorous shake. Think of it like you're trying to shake a tin can that's salted, something you really care about. And then pour it back out. Check the inside of it. Alright, looks pretty good. Squirt the lid off. Do that. Put another squirt of water in there, even less. Give it another violent shake, and then pour it out. Now you got a good glass jar. If you want to clean it, you can put some soap detergent in there, shake it up, and then you keep it for screws or custom liquids, or you can even get it ready for recycling. And it won't stink your house up. How great is that? Alright, let's mix this up. Oh yeah, that's starting to look pretty good. You know what else would be good in there? That would be good in there. Be right back in a sec. Gotta have to have seafood. You know, I'm gonna do a video on cooking fish later on. Trust me, it's gonna be a good watch. Tune in, enjoy it, subscribe. It's something not to miss. When I make fish, use a lot of butter. Just heads up. Apparently we're out of that. Well, we're out of that, so you know what? Not out of this one though. Shredded imitated cheddar cheese. I don't know how much was left in there because it was opened already. That much. I'd say that's maybe cup and a half of leftover imitated shredded cheddar cheese. To know when to stir this is you want to listen for it kind of like making a whining noise. It's kind of weird noise. It's very distinctive. But when it makes that noise, that's when to stir it, just so you know. That means it's going to start boiling if you're not careful. You don't want it to do that. Quick question, YouTubers. Is this in y'all's areas? If it is, let me know. My mom likes this. It's chocolate eggnog. Personally, it's a flavor that's kind of weird. I like yakult better. You know what? That's not enough cheese. Imitation cheddar. Now let's put some imitation mozzarella in there. Okay, so a little bit of information. This has an easy tear off top. Then it's got another seal in here. It's a bit of plastic. It's electrostatically made. It's like right there. So when you rip this off, you're gonna take and you pull it that way very hard. That'll break the seal. And then that will leave this resealable line here intact. I'd say that's about half the package. So I'm now going to exploit the resealable one. Now what I'm doing here, I'm getting out as much air as I can. That will serve to do two functions. One, that will help prevent mildew and mold from developing. And the second thing is it will reduce the amount of storage the container will take. Now, in case you don't trust this resealable line, what you can do is, for another layer of defense, you can then fold it around like that. Then that will require the air and various things you don't want in there to get through two folds. Alright, you'll notice that it's not going into a wild and crazy boil. That's because I'm fairly keeping on the ball with this. Okay, let's give this a stir and see how this looks. Oh, look at that cheese. Cheese, cheese, cheese. And Alfredo sauce, ground turkey. Mmm. Give me a spoon. I can eat this already. Okay, that's looking good. Not even ready yet. Not even ready yet. Alright, little information for those of you who's not familiar with recycling. Considering I've got some time on my hands. This is a clear plastic container, okay? What that means is, I've emptied it by the way, it's in there. This can be converted back into oil because it's made from oil. I'll see y'all later when this is ready. I'll show you the correct state when it's ready. See you then. Hey, welcome back. And well, I've had the bow ties on the heat for quite a bit. We had some pretty good conversations, discussed other videos, which I won't tell you because you're gonna have to wait and be surprised over there. Okay, so this is a bow tie. It is a form of pasta prepared in the shape of a little bow tie. My mom likes them because she thinks they're cute. That's the whole reason they've ended up in this tier casserole, because my mom likes them. I was thinking of using various other pastas. So what I'm doing here, I'm blowing on it, that way I don't accidentally burn myself and you get to laugh because I won't react to it. And well, it's still kind of like a rubber. That's not what you want. Now I've got my scoop out here because I'm letting the heat react with the water. That way you can see that I've got the water on the high heat and how hot it is. I'm going to lift them up. This is what they look like at this current state. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get them a bit extra tender, that way everybody can enjoy. Alright, it's almost ready to go to the next stage of cooking. Be right back in a moment. I want to get something. Okay, got it. This is an unopened box. This is what they look like before. I should have kept the noodle out. This is how they look now. For those of you who's not familiar, quite a difference. Quite a difference. Okay, now this is what's called, this stage of cooking, a pasta is called additional cooking. What this essentially does is it allows the pasta to absorb more of the liquid into the pores of it, essentially swelling them up a bit more, making them even tenderer. This is a very overlooked time frame of cooking pasta. So in fact, now look at that. Look at that wobble. Look at that little butt type wobble. Okay, now. And I still really didn't empty out a side of the sink. Laugh now, people. David forgot to empty a side of the sink. Laugh to your heart's content. I'm human. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. Okay. This position, I call it the side caddy position. But that means that I've got it setting on the side of the sink. And I'm going to lift it up. This allows me to do this. Okay, now this stage, I call it the backwash. That's where I dumped the liquids that the Bowtie pastas was cooking in back over the pasta noodles. The reason for that is it puts more of the flavor that the Bowties have back onto the Bowties, allowing to maintain the flavor of the pasta. Pasta does have a flavor, people. That's probably what people claim. It's very distinct. Okay. Now I'm going to give it a few shakes. This here scoop. We'll go over here. Now, this is brilliant. This is a spaghetti pot. That means that the strainer is cooked with it. This allows you to do this. Notice no drips on the floors. You cook a lot of pasta and invest in them. Worth it. Okay. The pasta now joins with the earlier concoction that I don't know what to call. Okay. Now, I can mix this any number of ways. How will I mix this? Table mix. That's how. This is not going to cut it. Here we go. Now, are you going to join me after I'm done mixing, because I will be putting it in the pot and you will get to watch it then, and I will show you what it looks like then. See you in a few seconds. Because we're going to do thousands of videos with us mixing. Thousands and thousands of videos. Not very interesting. The mixing I will go. See you after it's mixed. Okay people, welcome back. You missed the boring mixing part. Now, let's finish up the final assembly of this Alfredo turkey Bowtie and 2 types of cheese casserole. Uh-oh. We got a straight Bowtie. Don't fight a squadron. It's the Rogue Fighter.
I'm working tomorrow for 1 day.
Good for you. Okay, there is in the pot, making it a nice layer. Okay, let's put that aside. Now, more cheese. More cheese. More cheese. Zombies want cheese today, not brains. Zombies are on a brain-free diet. Their doctors called, said that their brains is not giving them the necessary milk byproducts that they need to survive. Now they must have cheese in their diets. Okay, I have to laugh. I got a feeling this is going to be the funniest recipe video we've ever done here. Especially this part. Okay, I'm doing a layer of cheese. You can do this any which way you want. You can do it clockwise, counterclockwise, through the middle, then on the sides. It really doesn't matter. Just as long as it's on top, because this will help prevent the inside from burning. Alright. Now then, once this layer of cheese is done, we're going to put it in the oven, and then you can heat it at 350 degrees until the cheese is looking, well, your preference and done. For the sliced cheese, you can use American cheese, pepper jack, Swiss. This is American sandwich. That means this is real cheese. That means this will melt in. So yeah, if you've done casseroles in the past, you'll know how it looks when it's done. We'll make sure to get a copy of this. Okay, that's done. So basically, you open your oven, you do this. Then when you're ready, you turn the oven on and you cook it. Bye everybody. Hey, welcome back people. It's been in the oven for I don't know how long since we've been filming. I think it was like 30 minutes maybe, that'd be my guess. Well, let's take a look at how it looks with the American cheese. Oh, you know that's real cheese when it melts. Well, we're going to be serving this with beets, but beets ain't the star, so they can sit over there. Okay. I'm going to just inhale that stuff. Okay. Zombie doctors say we need cheese. There's one plate. There's another plate. There's another plate, but enough of me serving onto other plates. This is the part you want to see. You want to see me tasting it. Well, I'm gonna taste it. I need to fight in here. Don't you dare take me, fish. Okay. Smells good. Look at the little booties. Hey, get back into formation. Fine then, let's try this one. Yeah, this one's got some cheese, a little bit of the meat. Smells good.
It's gonna be hot.
You know what? Yep. I did good random work here. Yeah, that was some good random work there I did, yep. Well, that was me from Ziggy's Sparkle Corner. Enjoy the dish, and I recommend cooking this. Good. You're right, that was hot. Yeah. Bye-bye from Ziggy's Sparkle Corner. Enjoy other videos. I'll be doing something interesting later on.